Be the first one. And well, the first game of the semifinals, of the other semifinals, is going to be between CZ Mango and Ovenka, and against them will be standing wW+Airman or wW+Airman. Well, of course, wW stands for White Wizards. It's actually a clan that is right now defunct, but just a few years ago it was actually quite strong. They have even, I think they have won RTS League once, at least, and they have really played very well, and they were one of the top clans in the community, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. And Nandavach, well, yeah, that's another name for BC Airmen. And BC, that's another old clan of Czech Bohemia Crusaders that is not really that active lately. Most of the players actually joined into CZ clan, so it's not really all that active anymore. But still, there is definitely plenty of history, like really plenty, because BC, that's a clan from the olden times, around or rather between 2000 and 2005 quite easily. They were playing also Age of Mythology, and not entirely certain we actually played Age of Empires 3, but I kind of think that I don't know, so I don't want to actually mislead you on that. Well, you can probably find it in some internet archive, or maybe on the internet, or if you ask some BC players, because there are plenty of them actually. For example, BC2, that's another player, I think his another nickname is Zoidberg in CZ, so you can ask him about the history of the clan as we are right now looking around here, as we should be also having quite a high level 2v2 on our hands, because all of these players are very high skilled. Harpner was very high level a few years back. He was also quite decent in StarCraft. In StarCraft 2 he was actually even in some pretty good tournaments and reached some very good spots, so he is definitely a great player. Airman is also something like easily 1800 plus. And for the other team, of course, Skull, yeah, well, or rather Skull, not really here. He was playing in the other semifinals in here. Mango and Ovenka, yeah, Ovenka something like 1850 to 1900, and Mango easily around 2k. So very high level overall. We are looking around the map. So far we haven't seen any kind of stealing or whatnot, as we are just looking at Mango right now capturing the first of the boars. Where is actually the second one? Is it hidden somewhere or in some plain sight? Oh, well, yeah, it's kind of okay at the bottom in here. As we're looking, for example, on the right side, just a bit of protection of the scout so that Nandavach aka Airman knows where everything is, and he's having his boars quite nicely positioned. But what isn't all that ideal, if you look at this, is definitely the gold. The gold could have spawned a bit better for him. So yeah, well, that might be a bit of an issue, because of course, that might be kind of hard to actually play around. He does have the second gold quite nearby, so it's not really that much of a tragic problem, especially considering it's next to the mill, or rather mill, the mill in the future, but that is definitely gonna come next to the berries. It might be occasionally actually guardable for him, but at the same time, having the same, or rather the resources at the same spot to have to defend and potentially being disrupted by some dash or whatnot, yeah, well, that's usually not a great move and idea for the later game. Anyway, moving top, right now into Harpner, we are looking, of course, the boar in the front. He has already milled the berries in there, and yeah, of course, Nandavach with Harpner as wW+Airman are gonna be on the right side, and on the left it's going to be the CZ. Let's look, for example, also at the civilizations that are, well, already a bit of harassment by Mango on blue, because he doesn't have loom. So yep, every opportunity is going to be taken, and definitely Mango right to do so, to deny at least a few, or rather a bit of food gathering, a bit of a dash already without the militias. So otherwise, that Spanish Mongols for both of them, so they're gonna be having the same civilizations, kinda reasonable ones. Reasonable ones indeed. And for RTS League, well, we are hoping during October, I'm definitely hoping that about next week, you could be thinking about starting the sign-up. So yeah, stay tuned. Maybe it's going to be about 30th, but hopefully it's going to be even earlier than that. But otherwise, going back into this game, we are looking at blue scouting very nicely right next to teal, trying to find if there's gonna be something nice for him. And you can see a bit of inefficiency right about now on Mango's side, as he's not really continuing, or rather building, the mining camp yet. Not yet anyway, as he's just waiting in here, waiting for enough food to advance into the next age and get some proper buildings ready for himself. Otherwise, a bit of scouting on the right side, and something that I haven't really said yet is that actually what Xpatch is all about. You might know it. It was a thing about, yeah, basically the second half of the last year, like very near to its end. This was played in December. in December, and it was basically about the time when it was released. And it makes plenty of changes to the gameplay, and not really big ones. Kind of smaller ones, so that it's easier accepted. Unfortunately, they didn't really seem to be helping all that much in the acceptance, but really the ideas are pretty great. Because, for example, you can remember from all the discussions about right now, even the wW kingdoms, that thing about the trade cards, about trade cards basically costing 2 pop and being half of them only, is from here, from X patch, and some other stuff like, for example, sling nerf and basically nerfing the most powerful civilizations like the Mayans, Mongols and whatnot. That is part of the X patch, and also some extra buffs, of course. And mainly a very important part of X patch are actually basically kind of fixed maps, so that you don't have all that sucky spawns. You basically, all the maps are gonna be spawning reasonably well. Not the same, definitely not mirror or anything, but they basically avoid any kind of map skews, something a bit even worse than this. Yeah, that is what X patch is all about. Making the game a bit more fun, a bit more balanced, but not really overdoing it, so that it would be some significant change to the gameplay overall. So in the meantime, we are looking at Harpman already going to be Drushing. Already sending a few guys above. And below, right about now, on Venka, who is basically going to be guarding himself quite alright. He is the Mongol, so we should be definitely expecting from him that he will be switching into the scouts and whatnot. He already has the stable in there. And well, yeah, let's see how it's going to be working for him, because of course, so far the feudal ages are hitting in for the players. You can definitely right now see that actually the spectator dashboard is not really working all that much, but well, of course, that's because you are playing on a mod, and yeah, it changes a few things, so it didn't really catch up properly this time around, so it's gonna be old school casting right here. But yeah, we see the Drush as on the right. There's probably nothing all that much happening right about now, just a bit of walling by Mango, as he's gonna be preparing himself for some fast castle apparently. Well, with the Spanish, why not? And a bit of a Drush himself, so that definitely kind of confirms that he will want to advance faster into castle, just drop a castle somewhere and produce conquistadors. In the meantime, Airman is already through, and the feudal age as well as the Mongol of the other team. I'm going to be making a bit of fun with, of course, the archer ranges, and it's of course gonna be a bit tricky, because the archers at the start are not really all that strong, and it usually means that the militias can do some decent damage, especially when you're having 4 of them, and the scout is still kinda alive-ish, even though not much, but yeah, he's not dead either, so he still is counting, or rather counted among the active army, of course. So, Drush is right now finding himself right next to gold, which is nicely protected, but still, might be a bit of an issue for it, and he's trying to maybe even trap them. Ovenka might be even trying to trap them about here. That would be actually quite funny, but apparently they didn't really succeed all that much. But with all the villagers right about now here in the spot, and the TC potentially firing at them, and especially compounded by all the scout cavalry right nearby, this is probably gonna be quite easy fight, and shouldn't be all that hard for Ovenka to defend against Harpner's attack. But still, he's at least right now slowing down the potential raiding by Ovenka into his base, and that is of course gonna be allowing him to advance all that much easier into the next age. As a Spanish, of course, who wants to get some extra stone, this map is definitely not spawned well for him, because looking at the stone behind the tree line, this is absolutely horrible for him. Absolutely horrible indeed, because the second stone is also quite forwardish. So I'm fairly confident that his gameplay is gonna be very hard, and I'm not entirely certain what it's gonna be consisting of all that much. On the other side of the map, we are looking at Mango as well. He has actually finished the wall in, or has he? Oh, there's a wall. There's a hole. There's a hole in the wall in here. Most definitely. Yeah, you can see there's definitely a hole to be passed. One of the problems that you can be actually facing in the game. But yeah, well, looking right now, for example, at the Drush already. And he's even trying to at least trying to kill the hunt right about now, because he sees that he's basically right now stopped with the Drush. So all he can do is kill a few animals here and there. And then that's going to be it for all those guys. Can he actually kill this one? Oh, no, he cannot. No, he cannot. So, unfortunately, he's not going to be killing the last deer that he wanted to. But still, he did kill 2, which makes those 2 just not really all that efficient to even mill or whatnot. So, probably will be expecting for Airman, aka Nandavach, to potentially push them a bit closer and then see what happens. So in the meantime, of course, green is going to be scouting between the opposing players, seeing what's going to happen in there. Plenty of gold being gathered. Castle Age still not right now coming up, but well, of course, feudal has hit, and we are looking at the amount of villages that is quite curious, as Mango is at 32, Ovenka 29, Nandavach at just 27, whereas Apne 31. So is actually Nandavach advancing already? Not yet, but he's coming for a wheelbarrow right about now. So thinking that this is gonna be a bit longer game, so that he has a bet, so he hopes for a bit better economy. And he cannot probably hope for that, because he's right now advancing onto the enemy, going to be getting rid of the Wolfie, and then, of course, trying to find a way into the enemy base. And is there actually any? I'm kinda thinking there might be a hole here as well, but maybe not. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be very close. But those cliffs, that's usually when the mistakes happen. So let's see. Let's see if actually Blue is gonna be able to get onto those woodliners. He definitely can shoot at them from about here. Behind the woodline, it's gonna be fairly easy for him to actually manage. And it's not going to be really any kind of problem for him. Right now, he didn't choose to go through. He's going all around. Maybe he didn't choose to go through because there is not a hole in the end. But yeah, he's right now arriving next to the tower, which is also quite nicely built by Mango. Because of course, he fully expected that the raiding is gonna be coming his way. But with this, yeah, the gold mining is gonna be quite secure for the foreseeable future. And of course, those guys are not gonna be that effective. Still, he needs to produce another tower to protect the stone mining, because he most definitely will want to drop a castle as soon as he advances into the castle age, as he's already advancing right about now. And looking at Harper, well, he's of course facing the pretty big problem with the stone, so he probably will be sticking to the feudal age a bit longer and hoping that he can harass his opponent a bit more effectively than he so far did. But yet again, tower finished, so not entirely seeing that how that could be happening. So archers and pikemen coming in as on the Teal's base. The tower has been of course finished. Right now Blue is finding himself in a bit of a trap, but looking how Mango is not having any kind of army. It's not really that much of a problem. But yeah, let's see where the castle is gonna be dropped. I'll be kinda expecting it might be coming a bit more into the front to halfway cover this gold mine and basically allow him to guard the way inside his base. I really think that would be a reasonable idea from him. As we are in the meantime, of course, looking at yellow, having at least a few scouts right now, trying to raid into Nandavach. Well, he did succeed in some kind of idle time, but he lost the scouts as well, so nothing really all that huge. But yet again, it has to be said that those guys are just gonna be standing behind the tower or below the tower, and even though they really cannot be shot at, it still should be resulting into not a bad time for Ovenka to actually get there from this. But yeah, it's probably looking like that he doesn't want to even risk it. So this is very nicely played in the end by Harpner, and pretty annoying for Ovenka, of course. Quite annoying indeed, as he was even trying to build another stable. But yeah, that's not gonna finish at all. That's not gonna finish at all, and he will have to build a new one. Which is of course gonna result in a few knights, as he is just now advancing through Castle Age. And otherwise, does he have some second gold mines somewhere behind? Looking at the minimap, actually not that much that I could see. Yeah, well, the second gold mine is also in the front. So it's actually a pretty big problem for him, because Ovenka right about now is having gold for just a few knights. But that should be still plenty enough against those units, as they are definitely not strong enough for anything like the few knights that are gonna be coming up from the stables. So that's that. Yep, knights queued up and going to be hidden inside the stables. Then they're gonna be developing out, or rather moving out, and that should be more than enough for all of this army. Well, that's plenty of them in there, but right now he's being shot at, so he needs to recognize that. As of course on the right, there's not much happening, as all the skirmishes basically died. They didn't have anywhere to escape. I'm really thinking that there is a hole between those two. I'm really fairly convinced that there really is, but he didn't find it, and the castle is being dropped a bit more to the right than I was expecting, but still it's pretty much the same spot still. So yep, that seems to be going quite alright so far, according to plan everything. So green still sending plenty more units. You can see there is still a trickle of archers and pikemen, or rather spearmen, coming inside the enemy bases. He's right now annoying the tower, but otherwise he's just trying to basically make life difficult for the opponent, trying to push some villages in, as he's probably going to be hoping to deposit the villages somewhere else as well. But yeah, he's already right now making way for all the knights to come in, and potentially quite nice shooting is gonna be available for the watchtower, but this is so far. So far, aha, very nicely played by Harpner. Very nice efficiency, just build the tower so that he can be shot at. But this deletion of the building, yeah, well, that was a great idea, of course, by Ovenka. And that will allow all his knights to annihilate all the green army. So nicely played by both sides, but unfortunately, there were just a bit more options. Just a bit more options for Harpner right about now. Looking, for example, in the base of right now on Harpner, I'm definitely expecting that he could be thinking about castle just about now. He's clicking in, yes. Nicely played, castle is finished. The Conquistadors are already gonna be coming up from Mango. He's gonna be coming forward or not? Well, so far he's quite defensive. He's probably expecting some kind of raiding an army from Nandavach, aka Airman. But apparently that's not coming up yet, quite curiously so, because, well, he's just probably advancing through Castle Age, so he's right now gonna be stabilizing himself, trying to wall himself in, and otherwise, plenty of gold for him. Plenty of gold, plenty of stone, so it seems that actually this is not really all that bad for him. He definitely will need a few knights here and there, the same as Ovenka. The same as Ovenka, most definitely, because of course he's gonna be facing plenty of other army right about now, like the Conquistadors, but it has to be said, the Conquistadors are actually very good against knights, so I'm not entirely certain that this is actually gonna be enough. This is gonna be enough for Dandavash to deal with all this. Yeah, right now he needs to escape, and he definitely needs to switch to a monastery and a few monks, because they are quite effective, both against knights, but yeah, this time against those Conquistadors, because of their very low range. Very low range indeed. So he's trying to lure him next to the base. To deal some extra damage, as in the meantime, of course, right now the battle is turning for Harpner and Ovenka. As Ovenka is right now advancing on his opponent's base, and unfortunately Harpner didn't really defend all that much. You can see he's getting quite slaughtered next to the gold mine, and even though he's still producing a few archers here and there, I feel like should be switching into castles soon, I'm thinking, right? Yes, yes. He's advancing already. It's still not really that great for him, and he definitely will be needing some assistance. It seems, at least at this point. A few spearmen seems to be basically it for Ovenka to give it up. A few blue knights are gonna be trying to raid the opponent, but it's not gonna be that easy, because there is not an easy way through. Besides still this, I really have to repeat this, I really think there is a hole between this palisade and the house on the cliff. But yeah, let's see if actually blue is going to be able to find it. Otherwise, he's of course through right here, as these villages were cut in just a bit more diligently than they should have, and they have freed their own version of Balrog from Lord of the Rings. The same as the dwarves in Moria. Well, teal is absolutely everywhere right about now, having plenty, quite plenty on Conquistadors. You can see this is making actually pretty significant problems for Nandavach, who is trying to use even some skirmishes, because he needs literally any kind of unit, as he's switching into knights and combination with camels. Seems to be so far just enough to actually lure the enemy out of his base, but still doesn't seem to be really enough for anything all that significant, and the power of the Conquistadors is definitely right now known, especially with those three dudes waiting in front of the base and looking to potentially deny this gold mine. If he only knew that he could be getting here. Well, that's plenty of idols right about now for Airman, unfortunately. Just want to check into Mango if he knows about the gold. Well, he knows, but he doesn't know that he can actually get there. So that's actually a pretty huge break right about now for Nandavach, because if Mango knew that he can just basically deposit Conquistadors about here and here, yeah, well, good luck with that. And there is, oh well, almost a hole. Not yet fully, but it's definitely gonna be coming there a bit later, it seems like. So Conquistador just raiding around, those are just gonna be trying to push forward, maybe try to destroy the house. Oh well, he's so far quite content actually, killing the villages here and there. So 3 villages that right off the bat. As of course on the left, plenty of knights from Ovenka trying to find their way into the enemy base yet again, but it seems like the Harpner is gonna be a bit surprised by a switch of Conquistadors from the blue player into his own base. And yeah, right now a bit of a signal, and you can see the yellow flares, as Ovenka is telling his teammate where to actually go, where the resources are and where the enemy is. So Archer's coming forward, still no crossbowman from him. It's kinda interesting. What is actually gonna be the game plan for Harpner right about now? Well, plenty of knights apparently. Kinda makes sense, because of course you are the Spanish, so you are kinda expected to be having the paladins once you advance into the Imperial Age. But so far that's not really happening, as there has been a bit of a breach of the knights, because of course there was a hole already cut through, and they didn't seem, or rather don't seem to have done anything all that significant in actually Teal's base. He actually did kill about 2 villagers, that's pretty nice. losing the 2 knights, of course. Or how many did blue send? Now green is going to be sending a few knights as well. But the TC created at very good spot, defending the gold. It seems that's gonna be quite enough for the defense overall. Yeah, we'll have to be a whole lot more careful than this. As yellow is right now basically camping together with a few conquistadors right next to green's base, and it seems like that it's gonna be making quite a bit of problems for him, because it basically needs all the help that he can get by all his units. He doesn't have really all that enough to send into a raiding. You can see that he has sent basically just a few archers and that's it. Nothing all that significant, but in the meantime, definitely great idea with a few monks here and there, since Harpner is the one making plenty of knights, and it's gonna be a fielding day of trying to convert some of them at least. In the meantime, well, that's plenty of conquistadors just gonna be deleting the knights without any kind of issue, exactly as I said a bit before. And looking at, for example, the economies, we are at 68-78 for the CZs, whereas Airman is at 49 and Harpner is just 55, so you can see that the economy is right now much better for the CZs, and they definitely are aiming for a bit better result from this game, at least so far. But let's see if it's gonna be really ending up that way as well. So archers trying to find something to kill before they are slaughtered, of course, by the knights. It's gonna be fairly easy job for the yellow horses. Can you actually kill at least one? Well, unfortunately, he just wasn't paying enough attention right about now. He was probably looking at, yeah, what's happening right now at the bottom, trying to kill a few villages here and there. Unfortunately, it's not really working all that much. He's at least slowing down the market, but yeah, nothing really all that major. Killing one villager, that's with the difference in the villager count. Not really anything all that major, to be honest, at this point. So yellow, in the meantime, trying to find his way in the green base yet again. As conquistadors are gonna be following in pretty decent numbers, and since this goal is, well, gonna be quite close by in there, not really looking all that well for him. In the meantime, green finding himself also in the yellow base, but with all the monks in there, he's gonna be stealing quite a few. He's having already 3 monks, and they are converting knights one by one, and of course that's gonna result in pretty huge advantage for yellow. As yeah, basically converting knights is like 2 for 1. Not only is your enemy losing a knight, you are also gaining one. So that's how powerful conversion actually is. Anyway, it shouldn't be underestimated like ever. It can definitely turn the battle very, very fast. Well, plenty of conquistadors still present, as they have found another way inside the enemy base. Even though right about now Harpner is guarding this position on his map, it's not really anything all that huge, especially considering what kind of army is right now coming his way. And with all those dudes that are probably coming to drop a castle somewhere. Let's switch into Ovenka. What is he actually gonna do right about now? Is he just going for the TC? Yeah, he is. So I was kind of hoping and was hopeful that he might be dropping some castle, but apparently that's not the case. But he's definitely aiming for the Imperial Age, looking at the amount of resources at the top. Yeah, plenty of right now army there. That was just, I think these were just some elite skirmishes, it seems like, according to the carcasses, but otherwise, of course, you can easily kill plenty of stuff all around. Even with all the town centers in here shooting and whatnot, he's at least gonna be denying the goal, as he can hide outside of the range of all those town centers. So nicely played. There is potentially a hole, yet again, that might be really a pretty significant problem for him in the next minutes of the game. So, blue army gonna be helping his teammate Harpner on the left against all the knights from Ovenka that could be coming in, but of course, once Teal is gonna be joining in as well. Yeah, well then, good luck with that. So Ovenka having plenty of resources to advance into Imperial Age. Too far not clicking in. How's it looking with others? Mango also gonna be advancing into Imperial Age, as he has just finished another castle apparently somewhere. I heard it. Didn't I? Yeah, he finished on the left. As he's even letting his teammate know, and that's because he needs to protect this gold mine and kinda halfway also the stone. But so far, quite a good game, and well, just waiting for the Imperial Age power spy for the CZs probably, because it doesn't seem like that the opponents should be getting there as soon as they are. Yeah, well, you can see that Mandawach is not anywhere near Imperial Age, and Harpner unfortunately either. So it seems that this is gonna be really quite a strong power spy once the Imperial Age hits for CZs. Otherwise, the economies are still getting better and better for them, 96, 99. And for the opponents, though, getting better as well, 73, 75, even though they are 20 back behind their opponents, it's getting better. They definitely will have a bit of time will catch up to them because of the long advance into the next age, but still the extra TCs are gonna be making up for that, and we're expecting that really the stronger economy at this point for CZs will be carrying them through, because it will support quite nicely and the power spike coming up. In the meantime, of course, quite nicely played right about now by Harpner and also by Mango, because you could have seen a very nice hit and ride by him. He has killed plenty of knights, you can see that is really well indeed. Very well played, whereas he hasn't lost a single conquistador. A single conquistador hasn't been lost. So that was nice attempt at push by Harpner, but unfortunately, yeah, Mango was able to play it quite correctly, and he's even preparing himself with a few Mangonels, I would be expecting, or is it Rams? No, it's gonna be Mangonel to get rid of this potentially. So let's see when he deposits, or rather deposits, actually lets it out to deal some damage into those skirmishes and potentially even the pikemen. In the meantime, plenty of army in the frontier again. It's gonna be basically full-on engagement between Mango's conquistadors and the enemy knights from Harpner. And even some extra villages are coming in. Oh well, that's fun. Let's switch into Nandavach. Oh no, into Nandavach, please. Into Nandavach, and he's gonna be trying to drop a castle. Oh, I was hoping for a castle yet again. I'm hoping for it basically the whole game, especially since he is the Mongol. I'll be expecting that could be coming for him. But yeah, well, right now the Imperial Age is just hit for the CZs, and the time is gonna be running out slowly for Harpner and Nandavach. Well, plenty of army ready already, especially with the reinforcement just now coming in. So it seems that the siege workshop is gonna be finished, whereas those dudes are gonna be quite a big problem. Especially in combination with all the conquistadors, and yellow should definitely be helping as soon as possible. So far he's just camped right next to his base, dropping castle so that he can prepare for the Mangurai span. But let's wait if there are gonna be some good shots. Well, it doesn't seem so, as it seems like the Mangonas are gonna die to the attack of the horses. Which definitely was well worth it, and plenty of those elite skirmishes in there, even though they are not really having any kind of upgrades yet. You can see they are not having any kind of pierce armor upgrade, anything at all. Well, it still might be getting a bit tricky against those conquistadors. Our conquistadors are such a strong unit indeed. So, well, where is yellow? Well, yellow is already coming in. He definitely should be coming in, as we are gonna be looking at some veteran rams, and unfortunately those villages are probably gonna be coming into the Hades quite soon from the back. Oh well, is he actually gonna notice? Well, not so much. Well, yeah, just right now the one knight, he did notice. But otherwise he's going to be coming forward, trying to even deal with the pikemen. And oh, somebody is finding himself in a pretty bad spot. And this is gonna be actually pretty horrible fight right about now for wW+Airman, because of course this is kind of tough on them, because the conquistadors are gonna absolutely slaughter the knights. They definitely are, because the knights, well, they are nicely upgraded, but still, without being cavalry, it's just not good enough. And even though Imperial Age is right now gonna be coming in from Nandavach, let's see how is it looking for Harpner, also coming into the next age. Well, it might be just a bit too late, because plenty of the army has already been lost, and yeah, this is exactly the power spike coming up for the CZs, as the elite conquistadors are researched with plenty of armor on them, and the knights are not really hard bad either, together with the camos. Not all that much upgraded, has to be said, just +1 into the armor, but yeah, he's already preparing himself for the Mangurais, and yep, they are already ready with full upgrades on the armor, just a few missing on the attack, but otherwise he seems to be quite nicely ready. And yep, this is gonna be a switch from the assault by Harpner and Nandavach into assault by CZ Mango and Ovenka. Well, let's see how this is gonna go. Well, kinda expected way it seems like right about now, because even though Nandavach is gonna be hitting the Imperial Age, yeah, just a bit too late. He's still gonna be under attack way sooner than he's through, and even sooner than he's of course gonna be getting the much needed upgrades. And he's not even ready for anything all that much, because he's the Mongol, and unfortunately he's still forced into fairly inefficient units. But yeah, they are not really that bad against Mangurais, but still the Mangurai is such a powerful unit that in combination with the Conquistadors it's gonna be very hard to deal with for Harpner and Nandavach right about now. Just gonna be, for example, some kind of chance could be coming from Harpner if he actually did advance fast enough, and he's right now advanced. If he's actually gonna be getting the Cavaliers sometime soon, well, yeah, he is. But unfortunately the paladins are quite far off, because he doesn't have enough gold. You can see just 250. Plenty of food, but yeah, the gold is definitely missing. And he's already under attack and gonna be quite heavily raided. So yep, problems are gonna be coming for him quite significantly. Especially since the gold mines are just available at the back. He has already finished with the main one that was here. And that's making things very difficult indeed. So castle finished on very good spot though for Harpner. He has definitely recognized what I recognize, the problem with the gold coming up. So he's right now having a bit of a second life, and he could be able to actually deal with all of this, as the Cavaliers are gonna be hitting pretty soon. They're gonna be changing into those Judelinos in no time. The siege workshop is right now coming up from him, and he's gonna be hoping somehow push back on his opponent, but of course this castle drop. Quite a gutsy attempt, and actually this is gonna be a bit tricky. You can see all the horses coming up, Ovenka can see them as well, but can he finish in time? Well, he cannot even wall himself all that properly, because Cavaliers would be tearing down and kind of walling quite significantly. So unfortunately for Ovenka, this is not gonna finish in time. And even those Mangonais are not gonna be enough, so very well played by Harpner, denying this castle, because that would have been a huge problem. Huge problem for him, and right about now he does have still a pretty much nice fighting chance for himself and for his team. On the other hand though, Nandavach is having quite significant problems against Mango, as Mango is knocking on the door quite significantly, even with Cavaliers already up, and we were gonna be expecting that maybe Paladins are not that far behind. Yeah, you can see he's definitely closing on them, and once those are up, yeah, not even the Spearmen the pikemen are gonna be able to help you. Definitely not the elite skirmishers. They definitely won't help. So this is looking pretty dire for Nandavach. Even though he's having the best economy from his team, as Harpner is down at just 75. Yeah, unfortunately, the fact that he is a Mongol and cannot really produce the best unit, Mangurais, is definitely right now hurting him. And yep, it's resulting into plenty of idle time. Plenty of idle time. And yep, not really that much of a great time. Plenty of idols for Ovenka as well, but it's not really forced. It's just basically he has run out of farms and of mines as well. As we are seeing Nandavach doing what he can, but yeah, well, unfortunately his army is basically dead right about now, so it's going to be just a full-on destruction by Mango on his base. As on the left, Harpner is doing what he can, but unfortunately the Mangorais are gonna be inside the enemy base pretty soon as well, and not even those Cavaliers are gonna be enough to deal with all of this, because Elite Conquistadors against just Cavaliers, even though fully upgraded at least on the defense, not on the attack, that's still not gonna go all that well. At least the Mangonels are gonna die, so that's gonna slow things down at least a bit. But where are the yellow guys? Quite close by, and this castle, oh, just dropped at the very last moment. Yeah, well, that's quite a big help to Mango. Quite a big help to Mango. Now, so of course, with Ovenka's help, that's gonna be a fairly easy fight for them from now on. Right about, I will be thinking right about now. I'm really kinda curious if actually Mango is gonna be really coming for the Paladins or what, or not. Yeah, apparently so. Apparently so, he did go for them. You can see that he has already switched them, so he's having plenty of economy right now. Really, the 152 is definitely coming through, as he can afford both Elite Conquistadors and Elite Paladins, or rather Elite Paladins, Elite Horses in the Paladins. So yep, that definitely speaks to the strength of his economy, that he can afford those very expensive upgrades at the same time. In the meantime, of course, a few Paladins coming also onto Harpner, who has already switched into Monastery, hoping to convert a few Paladins here and there, as he is also on the gold on the left, trying to steal what he can, but unfortunately has been found out by Ovenka, because he does have his eyes on the exactly same gold mine right here. Well, nothing really much going on in the attacking about this part of the map, whereas in here also just the buildings left and the market starting, but yeah, that's basically it, as the main fight is right about now happening in Nandavach's base, who has been able to defend with his teammates, so that's a bit of a surprise to me actually, but very good job by Harpner and Airman in staying in the game and still continuing fighting, even though Harpner is right now really hemorrhaging economy, because the Paladins are all across his base, and you can see he has dropped from about 75 to right now 55, and he is losing tons of villages. Airman not really all that much, curiously enough. He's still basically keeping himself at the same amount of villages, even though he was under heavy attack right next to his base TC. So definitely plenty of opportunities for Teal to deal with him, but unfortunately for him, he's running out of gold. You can see one of the last gold mines in there, and he doesn't have anything at the back, like anything at all. And the next gold mine is in the front, well, front towards this ally. But yeah, it's not really all that much safe, and it's gonna be very hard for him to make any kind of use of it. He does have potentially gold in the front, but it's absolutely not safe, as the villagers are coming forward, gonna be stealing the gold itself. And this forward base, yeah, that's a pretty huge threat. Pretty huge threat, because he's basically literally in the base of his opponent. Yep, nicely played by Mango. In the meantime, Green is apparently gonna be losing this castle because he doesn't have any kind of defense in there. And if he could, of course, produce something from the siege workshop, the Mango Rice would be making a short work of it. But he does have paladins. He already does have paladins, fully upgraded. So let's see, that's gonna be a fight between fully upgraded paladins and fully upgraded Mango Rice, which usually results into who has the better spamming abilities. And well, so far it seems like the castle is gone. Unfortunately, that means also the protection for the gold in there. Definitely could be doing a good job, Harpner, if he visited this gold mine yet again. Basically the same as what Ovenka did a bit before. But yeah, right now we see the GG, as the economies are just all over the place, especially for Harpner, and unfortunately the castle dropped right inside actually Nandavachi's economy. Is basically the last straw, and yep, he doesn't have any kind of reasonable way how to get rid of that. Fortunate, but that's how it happened. So actually a very good game, a very long one, 52 minutes. For the semifinals of the X-Patch tournament. And well, it went, the game number 1 for CZ Mango and CZ Ovenka after some pretty good gameplay, has to be said. Very confident, and they definitely knew what they were doing from the very start. But at the same time, Harpner's and Nandavachi's game, it was slightly suboptimal in the few late, it seemed like. But still, even through that, they were really able to stay in the game very well indeed, and played so well. So well to stay in the game with such weaker economy. Yeah, you don't really see that all that often. So let's see the achievements. That's of course gonna be Mango and Ovenka quite ahead of their opponents because of the better economy for the majority of the game, of course. Definitely makes plenty of sense. Not much even of the slinging in here. Yes, yeah, plenty of very good economy. Especially from Mango, who finished with the most at 158, so that he can produce all the expensive units like the Paladins, and also the Conquistadors. They are not really the cheapest either. Alright, GG. GG.